director Edgar Wright has revealed more details in regards to his cancelled Ant-Man film. And once again, shocking just about nobody, this film was nothing like the final version. So once again, this comes at us from Edgar Wright, who was recently reflecting upon his time working on Ant-Man for quite a few years. And he specifically addressed his version of the script and why it never took off, and how his vision clashed. And he does go on and say that he can't reveal everything because obviously he has a ton of NDAs that he's not allowed to talk about, but there's a couple details that he can reveal that are new. So first and foremost, he goes on and talks about Scott Lang, and talks about how in the MCU proper, the way we got it now, he is this criminal, but it's situational, and he's somebody that has a good heart and goes through a redemption arc. He reveals in his film, Scott Lang was nothing like this. Instead, Scott was a pure-on criminal. He was a thief, he was on the run, he was a criminal, he was wanted by people. Like, he was just about what you would consider a run-of-the-mill, more or less MCU supervillain in the making by the sounds of it. And he reveals that the movie centered on him, aka Scott Lang, being in charge of multiple giant crime heists and interlocking sort of mechanics that all connect multiple heists happening at once. And that Scott Lang never really became the character we see in the final product. So yeah, very interesting. And on top of this, he does address the whole thing about the whole MCU thing. And he says, yeah, it's true. His film did not have cameos from any MCU characters, and that he very much wanted this to be standalone, and the only thing he wanted that connects it to the MCU was a post-credit stinger. But that's when everything started to clash, because obviously they wanted Scott Lang to be a little bit more redeemable and not a complete, I guess, human trash type of character, and they wanted it in the MCU, and he didn't, and he wanted a crime, like, syndicate that I guess he was running or something, and that's where things fell apart. And we can kind of see elements of this that stayed in. X-Con was probably supposed to be all this, you know, heist stuff, but they're like, you know what, just make them something else, and you could see DNA of this that was kept in when it came to the final draft. But it's very interesting to know that Scott could have potentially been completely different and somebody very unlikable.